What's up, guys? Welcome back to Newswave Monday. So we're going over all the stuff from this past weekend in gaming news. First, though, I do want to say we are coming up on the 50,000 subscriber giveaway. That is, of course, the new 2DS XL. If you have not already, subscribe down below and check the link in the description so you can put your name in the hat for the drawing. And with that, let's get started. And the first bit of news today we're going to talk about is something kind of interesting that came up over the weekend. That is this new initiative from Nintendo to start taking pre-orders for Nintendo Switch consoles in Japan. Now, of course, we've seen how rampant the demand is right now in Japan for Nintendo Switches. Crazy lines going on just for lotteries for a chance to then be able to buy a Switch, right? Lines of 3,000 to 5,000 people for handfuls of Switches. Now I say handfuls, it's like 250 or so, but still, a lot of people want Switches and they're really looking for any way they can to get them. And at this point, it looks like Nintendo is going to do something where you can pre-order customized Switch units through a website. Now this website is the My Nintendo store in Japan. You can go on there and you could choose what color you want your Joy-Cons to be, from gray to neon red to yellow to green, etc. And it's really cool because now you can pretty much customize your Switch to look the way you want rather than buy, a default one. Maybe it's the multicolored Joy-Cons, but you want two neon reds, but you got to go out and buy another set of neon Joy-Cons to make that work. It's really neat as you go online, you change up the Joy-Con colors and you have them shipped to you. Now, it starts August 22nd, so if you are in Japan, you can go on that store and shop around and see what colors you want your Joy-Cons to be. August 22nd is when it starts, and then they will go on to fill those orders October 1st and onward. So, of course, from August 22nd going forward, and then October 1st for all of the pre-orders start to be filled, going forward from there. I think the big initiative here is to get as many Switch units, like I've said before, out for Mario Odyssey, which is out at the end of that month. So it makes sense why they would start filling those pre-orders, and I think it's very interesting because what this tells me is that they are pretty confident with their Switch stock going forward after that date. So October onward, they apparently are going to have plenty of Switches. I don't know if that's because parts orders came through or contracts got done in the background. Something, though, is telling me here that Nintendo is ready to just start putting Switch units out there like crazy, and it makes sense. Again, for their biggest release of the entire year, Mario Odyssey is right there. Again, they want to get as much stuff as they can out, front load it, and this is a cool way because it doesn't look like there's going to be a limit. They're just going to take pre-orders, and then as they fill them, they will send them out. So you can just start pre-ordering, and then starting October 1st, they will start filling those orders. This could be very interesting for sales numbers going forward. Specifically, I think from what I've heard, Famitsu tracks the online orders, so we may see a massive gap between Media Creates and Famitsu, if that's true, starting in October. Although I'm not sure how pre-order sales work into that, so maybe we start seeing a massive gap starting August 22nd here. Hard to say. I guess we'll find out at the end of August for the Media Create and the Famitsu sales charts when those come out. Either way, this looks like it's good news for the people in Japan who are, the demand is so high there. People are going crazy looking for Switches. Looks like Nintendo is starting to figure out a way to get those systems to people who really want them. Kind of neat. You get to also customize the Joy-Cons, and it also comes with customized strap. You can either get a black kind of wrist strap that comes off the Switch or a neon pink one. Kind of neat. And of course, Sonic Mania is out tomorrow, August 15th. I'm very excited. I'm sure many of you are as well. And they took to a live stream on Friday where they showed off the special edition and had an announcement for PC gamers. Let them kind of, a little frustrated, a little annoyed. But for the most part, the special edition looks great. The real problem was they are announcing that the PC version of Sonic Mania will arrive 2 weeks later than console versions. Now, in their words, they want more time to optimize Sonic Mania for the PC experience. I'm not really sure why they would have to optimize it further. Maybe they just need to test it on a much broader range of video cards, processors. I'm not sure because when you look at the game, it looks like the system requirements won't be super high. The game is going to be like 184 megabytes or something like that on the Switch, which tells me it's probably going to be very similar on other systems since it looks very similar to the Genesis version of Sonic. Kind of like Sonic CD from what I'm seeing. The cool thing here, though, is that they are going to, I guess, try to appease those people by giving them the original Sonic the Hedgehog, maybe to tide them over. However, that game's been playable for quite a while, and in fact, some of those people on Steam may already own the game. I guess that's the only thing they could do at that point. That game is going to arrive, again, August 15th tomorrow, and then for PC users, August 29th at the end of the month. And really, it's 20 bucks, so even if you've pre-ordered it, there's a chance that if you just want to play it, you'll probably just go out and buy it on a console, whether it's PS4, Xbox One, or the Switch anyway. and maybe that's what some people will do. And if you're a big convention goer, you know that PAX West is right around the corner. It's at the end of the month going into September, and a lot of people will be going, well, out west for PAX. And it's very interesting because Nintendo has apparently a special panel that they have not released any details about at PAX West that seem to have a lot of people guessing as to what it is. Now, this special panel by Nintendo is going to be held Saturday, September 2nd, and that's going to be from between 10 a.m. and 11 a.m. All they've given us is a time range. It could be less than that. It might even go over a little bit. Apparently, it's going to take place in the Hydra Theater in that convention center, which is a pretty good sized theater that a lot of people are going to pack into and I guess see some kind of, well, panel by Nintendo. Now, a lot of people are guessing, well, of course, what you would think, right? A big new game announcement. If I had to take a guess here, I would say we're probably going to see something about Metroid Samus Returns, whether it's more gameplay, more of a marketing push. Keep in mind, this is leading up right to the release of the game, and they're going to get whatever screen time they can or anything they can to put in front of audiences about this game, because they do seem to have a big initiative to push this game. It's a Metroid resurgence, if you will. That's coming out, and then of course Metroid Prime is coming out, sometime later. We still don't know when, but right now this is the Metroid game in front of us. So they're going to do whatever they can to push it. That is why I believe that's what's going to be there. Now, other people are thinking maybe it's the new Zelda DLC. Also very possible. Or some other people are thinking maybe it's Mario Odyssey, another game they're trying to push heavily with marketing. I don't think it's going to be anything big, no new announcements. I could be wrong. Of course, they could just all of a sudden throw something out there. But really, if they were going to announce anything anywhere, it'd probably be Gamescom. That's like a week or two before that. Either way, Nintendo has a way of kind of announcing their stuff through directs, so I don't think we'll see it at a random convention, not to say Gamescom or PAX West are random, but for Nintendo, they kind of are for announcements. Next up, let's talk about No Man's Sky. They got a big update that did something that fans have been asking for quite a while. I mean, it kind of did it. Now, of course, I'm talking about multiplayer. They also added a bunch of other stuff, fast travel, a terrain editor, a lot of different things there. But really, the big thing here is you can communicate with other players, not necessarily play with them, but you can at least talk to them. Now, of course, if you were around for the No Man's Sky debacle when it first came out, there were a lot of, false narratives, or I don't want to say outright lies, but there was some iffy advertising, and a lot of people had the assumption that multiplayer was going to be included in the game, to the point where I think retail establishments like GameStop were putting stickers over certain parts of the box art to cover it up, that it was only a single-player game, and we even got to a point where people tried to meet on Twitch when it first came out, and realized, wait, we can't see each other even though we're in the same place. I thought there was supposed to be multiplayer. At least now they have come through and they've added it so that if you run into a planet where somebody else is, you can't really see what each other is doing. Like, you won't affect the other people's like planet, but you can at least see them. They'll be floating orbs. You can talk to them through voice chat. I guess that's something. You can kind of play together, but kind of not. And of course, the one thing I want to say about No Man's Sky is they have made a massive effort to try to fix this game and make it what fans wanted in the first place. So while it's a shame it took a year, I'm really happy to see that they have put in the effort and they're at least trying to, I guess, make things right with the community rather than just run off with your $60 game. Because, I mean, it was $6 when it came out, and obviously the advertising wasn't quite the best, accuracy-wise, right? But at least they're trying to make the game work as they said originally a year later, and I'm sure more updates will come along because it seems like they want this game to be very large, much like they originally said it would be. And in our last bit of news, let's talk about our good friends at EA. Now, we've talked about them in length because they were moving FIFA to the Switch, which was pretty interesting to a lot of people. They, of course, left out the big story mode, The Journey, because it was running on Frostbite, which the Switch version is not. But overall, as we've gone along, it sounds like the experience for FIFA on the Nintendo Switch has actually been pretty good. 60 frames per second. It pretty much has everything across the board except for The Journey, and a lot of competitive FIFA players don't really care about that anyway. Really, it looks like it's a good home console portable version on the Switch. So a lot of people have been wondering, well, are other EA games going to come over? I've talked about this a little bit in the past about how, well, maybe EA is looking to see how things go with the Switch, much like other companies, right? You don't want to throw everything at the system that you can if you're not sure you're going to get your money back. And it looks like this has kind of been echoed a little bit by the vice president over at EA. This was an interview with Edge Magazine this past month, and it was from Patrick Sutherland. He said this: "What I will say is we will appear on any platform where there are consumers and players. We believe that we want to be a part of the Switch and help Nintendo grow that installed base. That's why you'll see FIFA, which by the way is really good this year. It's a full-fledged FIFA game for the first time, to be honest, on a portable device. But at the same time, we have to look at it from a restore standpoint, and at some point, the numbers become a factor. So for us, it's about supporting the platform, building technology for the platform, testing it out with big things like FIFA, and maybe a couple of others, we'll see. And if they go well, I see no reason why we shouldn't have as much of our portfolio on that platform as possible. I hope we get there. That will be my personal ambition. So again, what he's saying here is, look, we want to bring stuff over, we really do, but we have to see how it's going to sell to this consumer base, because maybe a lot of people on the Switch, they don't care as much about sports games. They're going to find out. Whereas people on the PS4 definitely like FIFA, obviously. The PS4 really controls Europe right now, and that's FIFA territory right there. But what's interesting here is the Switch and FIFA are an interesting mix because, well, the Switch needs FIFA. It does. A lot of people say, well, I might not need it. Well, listen, the Switch is selling okay in Europe, not the best, but FIFA sells great, and it's a portable console experience on the Switch. I could see a lot of people in Europe buying the Switch and buying FIFA who maybe wouldn't have bought the Switch before if FIFA wasn't on it, because you get that portable FIFA experience that apparently is pretty good. Like I said, 60 frames, it plays all the competitive modes, everything. FIFA Ultimate Team, it's all there. It's very interesting to see that, well, maybe some people will make the jump to the Switch who wouldn't otherwise, especially if FIFA starts to show up every year. Maybe you get Madden, you know, and you start to see people jump to the system who want that portable sports experience. I think that's still something that really has, it's a niche that has not been tapped yet, is a portable way to do things like play a full-fledged Madden or play a full-fledged NHL hockey, right? There's a lot of stuff out there that people would like to play on the go. I think these sports games, that's one of them. Either way, it'll be very interesting to see how FIFA sells on the Switch, because it sounds like if it sells well, EA is going to look at more games from their portfolio to come over, like NHL and like Madden. So I guess if you want them to come over and you already like FIFA anyway, I mean, the Switch version seems to be shaping up to be pretty good. Again, you can wait for reviews to see how good, but at least it looks like EA is taking a shot here. And that's it for Newswave today, guys. Make sure you comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Let me know what you think about any of the stuff we talked about today, whether it is those custom Joy-Cons on the Nintendo Switch that you could order on a website. I would love to see that kind of come outside of Japan to other parts of the world, because I think that's a great idea. You pre-order it, you get it ahead of Mario Odyssey, because maybe that's what a lot of people are buying it for. Put your order in, and then, you know, a month and a half later you get it, and then 2 weeks later you can go pick up Mario Odyssey. I like the idea of being able to change up your Joy-Cons, and I hope we get to a point where there is a massive, like, color spectrum you could pick from, right? You can just pick all kinds of crazy colors for your Joy-Cons and then just show up on your doorstep. What a good idea. Also, let me think about FIFA on the Switch. Are you going to buy it? Is a portable FIFA that is a console version interesting to you? And would things like a portable Madden or a portable NHL be interesting to you? I'm curious what your thoughts are. That's it for now, guys. I'll see you next time.